How are you? Hope you've been fine. Hope you've been doing well, taking care of yourselves, and doing those things that make you happy, because that's important. So, it's been a minute. I was supposed to post a video last week, and somehow a lot was happening, and I wasn't able to, so I apologize for that. But something happened to me a few days ago, right? And I said, let me come and share it with you. So I was talking to my financial advisor, and I usually have routine meetings with him. And so he asked this question. He said, what's your monthly budget? And I had no answer. I mean, I was guessing here and there, but I really didn't have like a specific figure, every month I spend this much. It really caught me off guard. And I realized, okay, how many of us are like this? Like, how many of us actually just go grocery shopping and buy airtime and all those things that you spend your money on without actually noting down how much you're spending? So for me, when he asked the question, it was like a wake-up call. I'm like, oh my God, I really need to start noting down everything I spend my money on every month, because that's the only way you can start to organize yourself on a personal basis, financially. There are things that are easy to remember. And I remember I gave him a figure based on those things, and then he started reminding me of other small things, and then I realized, okay, no, these small things that go unnoticed that you spend on every day or every other day. The major things for me are groceries, fuel, airtime, what else? Water, electricity. I mean, the main things, right? But then there's those little small amounts that you, like, for example, a boda guy has dropped fruits and vegetables, and you're going to give him a 5k for bringing the stuff, or 10k depending on where he's coming from. You might not remember those small amounts, but anyway, for me that was such a wake-up call. And he actually gave me some homework. He told me, from now on, I need you to note down every single thing that you spend your money on, everything you pay for. Note it down, and then at the end of the month he's going to come back and touch base. But how many of you are like me? How many of you actually don't really bother to calculate how much you're spending, especially down to the small amounts? I'm guilty, man. I'm guilty. But there are things that I'm doing better. But there are certain areas where I feel I've really tried. I've done well. Tried, okay. Not done well. Tried. And I've done this over the years. I've done this for so many years consistently. And I think for me, it's partly why I can honestly say that I have some discipline, financially. One of those things is how I do my shopping. And shopping, I mean like my personal shopping, clothes, shoes, new bags, wigs. I mean, ladies, we love these things, right? For me, over the years, I have made sure that I only do shopping once a year. I travel and do my shopping and buy everything I know I need, and that's it. Like, you won't catch me randomly heading to the mall to buy new clothes, or once in a while. I mean, someone might send you an amazing piece and you're like, hey, I have to keep this one. But for the most part, I keep my shopping to once a year. And for me, that has helped me a lot to, be disciplined financially and not just spend unnecessarily. Another thing for me has been to live within my means. This is very important, and people tend to forget this, especially when you are, there's peer pressure. You have friends who want to hang out in certain places, spend certain amounts of money, and if you know that you're not making that much money, you're not on the same level as they are, it might be the right time for you to sort of wake up. I keep telling people, live within your means. Don't worry about what people say. Why is she driving such a car? Why is she not carrying the new iPhone? It's okay. It's not. And for me, one of the things that has really helped me over the years is that naturally I'm not a materialistic person. Like, I could afford something and I know I can buy it anytime, and then I won't. Simply because I'm like, what's the difference? What's the difference between this and this? As long as this can do this and this and this for me, why am I buying for example, a new gadget if I have one that's doing the job really well? Like, I'm just that person. I'm just a simple person. So that has helped me a lot. But yeah, it's important for you to live within your means and just be realistic, And living within your means doesn't mean you have to be boring. It doesn't mean you don't have to have a good time. You just have to plan smart, for your money. Another thing for me is I avoid debts. I don't like borrowing and I don't like lending. I simply don't do those things. And I pray to God that I never get to that point where I have to borrow money, because it even scares me. I'm afraid to borrow money. But when it comes to lending, for me, it's a rule. I don't lend money. I just don't. Because out of experience, first of all, money is an interesting thing. It has a way of creating tension, between you and your loved one. Someone comes, borrows money from you, promises to pay back, and then you start chasing after them, and then you become the fool. It has happened to me many times. I remember back then, someone I was dating who borrowed money from me. And this was someone I was in a relationship with, and I said, okay, he'll bring it back. Who cares? And he didn't. And when he didn't, I started asking for it. I said, look, I need the money. You said you'd give it to me. And I asked a few times, and we got to a point where he was actually getting upset with me because I was asking for that money. You know what I did? I let it go. I said I would never ask for that money again. Even after we broke up, he hadn't paid. He has never paid. But I let it go. But then that taught me a lesson, that don't lend money to people who are so close to you, your loved ones, your boyfriend, your sister, your aunt. It's going to cause tension, and before you know it, your relationship is on rocky grounds. What I do, if someone comes and says, can you lend me money? Can you lend me 1 million shillings? I won't lend you 1 million shillings, but if I have 500,000, I'll give it to you and say, you know what? I'm giving you half. Don't worry about paying me back. Go top it up. Hopefully you can solve your issues. And that way I know that I'm at peace. I know I've given you something. I know I've been of help. And I know that I don't have to go through the pressure of that awkward moment, every time you meet someone and you know that you lent them money, they look like they're trying to avoid you. I just give you, and I know that I've given you, and that's it. I'm at peace. Another thing for me that has helped me over the years to stay organized financially is to pay my bills on time. A few years ago, a couple of years now, when I used to rent, for me, before anything else, I would first deduct my rent and pay it. And after that, then I can now start planning for the rest of the money. For me, it was such a big deal that I didn't care about anything else as long as I've paid my rent. There's a way you get your peace of mind when you know that you've paid for things like that and they're out of the way. You've paid your rent, you've paid for the water bill, you've paid the water bill, you've paid for your electricity, the major things, and you don't have to worry about it. So teach yourself to not wait till the last minute. Teach yourself to not wait for the landlord to call you and say, Madam, sente ze nyumba, pay and so you can have your peace of mind. That for me has helped me a lot. Another thing that I learned a few years ago, and I saw it on YouTube, Akon was talking about his 10% rule. I don't know whether you have watched it. He says that he has this 10% rule that he applies to everything he buys. For example, let's just say, I'll give myself as an example. If I want to buy a nice handbag and the bag costs 1 million shillings, if I don't have 10 million shillings sitting on my account, I will not buy that bag. It means I can't afford it. Do you understand? So for me, it was such an eye-opener. I was like, oh wow, yeah, the 10% rule really works. So before you, again, it takes me back to living within your means. If you know that, okay, this is how much I have, it means I can spend this much according to how much I have. Simple things, they don't need common sense. But for me, when I was having that conversation with my financial advisor, it really woke me up. And over the last couple of months, he's given me some really good advice, and taught me, how to make some smart money moves. But that day, he just dropped this question on me, and I thought I should share it with you guys. Might be a good time for you to start thinking about it and go through the things that you like to do. How do you entertain yourself when you're doing groceries? What do you buy? Do you like snacks? Do you like to buy yourself a bottle of wine? Note down everything so that you know that every month, this is what I need, this is what I have to spend. Because I'm telling you, in the end, you're going to find yourself in a very comfortable place financially, and you'll be proud of yourself. Okay, that's all I wanted to share today. Take care of yourselves. Have a nice week, and I wish you all the best in getting yourself financially organized. Love you. Mwah.